Man, this is why we love the NFL, man. The Denver Broncos and the Cleveland Browns just put on a classic. Who would have thought? Well, I kind of seen it coming because the Cleveland Browns, they played ball last week in the snow. Jameis Winston was nice, Yeah, the Cleveland Browns don't have a winning record, but they compete. They play hard for Jameis Winston. And on the other hand, you got the Denver Broncos. Who would have thought that the Denver Broncos would be positioning themselves for the playoffs? Everybody thought this team was going to be a lottery team. Sean Payton got a rookie quarterback in Bo Nix, who should be the offensive rookie of the year, by the way. Sean Payton say, look, we ain't come here to kiss Patrick Mahomes' rings. We come here to compete, and I come here to beat that dude. They should have beat him early this season when the kicker fumbled that snap at the end of the game. You know what I'm saying? But the Broncos are a good team. The defense came into this game top 5. I got to keep it 100. They got shredded tonight. It wasn't so much about the defense. It was mainly one guy. Man, Levi Wallace, who they just picked up recently. Man, he got shredded like paper going in a shredder, man. Like, that was ridiculous out there. Jerry Jude should have had 2 touchdowns. Jameis Winston overthrew him on one of them plays, man. We knew Jerry Judy was going to come out and play ball. He had revenge on his mind. You know what I'm saying? Sean Payton knew that too. You feel me? This was an excellent win by the Denver Broncos, though. The Broncos ran 60 plays. They had 402 total yards, 294 passing, and 108 rushing yards. They had 19 first downs to the Cleveland Browns' 28 first downs. With a ratio like that, you probably would think the Cleveland Browns would have won. No, no, no. The Broncos kept their composure, and now they're 8-5 going on their bye week next week, Bo Nix had an okay game, 18 for 35, 294 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. One of the interceptions wasn't his fault. Ward made a good play on the ball popped up, and the dude picked it off. Now, the other one was all on him. He had an okay game. He was throwing some darts, though, like that 93-yard dart he threw to Marvin Mims. That was sweet. I ain't lying. I started jumping up when he completed that one. The Broncos went 6 for 13 on third down. That's okay. They got to be better on third down, though. But you see Jaleel McLaughlin, 14 carries for 84 yards. I know I'm not the only one that noticing this right now. I think he going to become the Broncos' number 1 running back. I really think Sean Payton going to get rid of Javonte Williams, and he going to just run McLaughlin and Estime from Notre Dame. Because McLaughlin, man, that boy is a beast. He's so fast. I like how he be cutting back. He got good vision, man. Very underrated running back. He's nice. Like I mentioned earlier, Marvin Mims. He had 3 catches for 105 yards, 1 touchdown. That big 93-yard catch. That was sweet. Cortland Sutton had 6 catches for 102. Cortland Sutton should have had like 120. Him and Bo Nix, they wouldn't in sync on a couple throws, But all in all, Cortland Sutton had a good game. Troy Franklin, Lucas Krull, Vele, and Atkins, they all contributed, had a couple catches. The offense was pretty nice. At the beginning of the game, Bo Nix really couldn't get going, and the running game was not, it wasn't there. In that second half, that offensive line started opening up holes. Shouts out to the offensive line, too, because over the last few years, the offensive line been suspect. This is the best I've seen this offensive line play in a few years. They are really in sync and they're blocking real well. And that's why Bo Nix is having the success that he's having. because he trusts the offensive line. When the offensive line break down, he takes off. That's what I like about Bo Nix, though. Good win by the Broncos, though, man. Now let's talk about the losers. Like I mentioned earlier, the Cleveland Browns had 28 first downs. Jameis Winston. Hate him or love him. Dude be balling, yeah, man. He be balling. As a team, the Browns had 552 total yards, 475 passing yards by Jameis Winston. He was throwing that thing, man. They had 77 rushing yards, and they ran 84 plays. They won time of possession, too, 32 minutes to 28. But, excuse me, Jameis Winston threw for 460 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Slaying that thing, man. They ran the ball by committee. For the most part, the Broncos shut them down. Shouts out to Jerry Jeudy, though. He came with it on his mind. 8 catches for 219 yards. And like I mentioned earlier, man, Jerry Jeudy, if he would have caught that pass that was overthrown by Jameis Winston, Jerry Jeudy probably would have had 300 yards receiving with 2 touchdowns because he was getting open all night. He made the Broncos defense look silly at times. Elijah Moore, he was solid too. 8 catches for 111 yards. Njoku, top 5 tight end in the game. 9 catches for 52 yards, 2 touchdowns. Even though Nick Chubb only had 21 rushing yards, he had a receiving touchdown. Cleveland defense was okay. But it was all about the Broncos, man. The difference in the game was Jameis Winston's interceptions. Both of his interceptions were took to the house. One by Bonito, and at the end of the game, McMillan, that dude so good, bro. He really done became the Broncos' number 2 corner besides Patrick Surtain Jr., Dude be balling. Every game I done watched this year, dude just hops off the screen, man. He good. He a good tackler, and he very good in coverage. Did you see that play on 3rd down with a running back? He had the running back one-on-one, and he stopped him. Man, not that many cornerbacks in the league is going to take on that challenge like that and win. Dude is fearless, man. At the end of the game, I swear, I called it. I say Jameis Winston and had a good game. He about to throw a pick. And right on cue. McMillan jumped that thing, man. Snatched it with the left hand, I think, and then got up and took it to the house. I said, well, that's all, folks. It was a great game, though, man. No one expected it to be a shootout like it was. It's just a great game all around. The Cleveland Browns ain't got nothing to be ashamed of. They came out, they gave it their all. They just lost to the better team, When you look at the Denver Broncos defense, even though they got shredded, they played ball, man. Like I mentioned, Nick Bonito, he took one to the house and he had a sack. Jonathan Cooper had a half a sack. James Franklin had a half a sack. Jonah Ellis had a sack. And the star of the game, Jaquan McMillan, 5 tackles and 1 interception to the what? To the house. That was sweet, man. Real talk. Y'all better watch out for these Denver Broncos, man. Once that defense get back to playing like a top 5 defense in the league and Bo Nix could play a little better, this team is scary. They are really scary. The Broncos were out one of their cornerbacks. So they're not going to give up all them yards like that. Levi Wallace, I think he might be done. He was only subbing in for Riley Moss anyway. Riley Moss is a good underrated corner too, A lot of people don't know about dude. He legit. Great win by the Denver Broncos, man. I'm looking forward to see what they're going to do after their bye week because things are getting real interesting in the AFC West and in the NFL period, man. This the time of year when some of the best football is played, man. Teams have that momentum. They know they have to play their best ball to get in the playoffs. And that AFC West division is tight. The Broncos got to keep winning to keep pace with the Chargers. You know? Y'all let me know in the comment section how far y'all think the Denver Broncos could go. I see y'all on the next one.